What's up, everybody? I'm Oli, and let's take a quick look at some tips and tricks for house bass lines. So basically this video should be some tips how to use simple approaches to create some cool and classic bassline stuff. So let's jump right in and take a quick listen to this beautiful but simple track by Bobby Condors. Cool and classic bassline. Pretty simple. So let's just say you had an A minor 7. So you would have an A. Let's do the octave up here. You would have an A, C, E, and G. These notes make up an A minor 7. Let's do an inversion. So kind of change the order of these notes. Let's bring the E and the G down. So we can basically get these notes. Now you have 4 notes that you can work with and use a simple approach to just like do something with these. And in the case of this track, you basically had this melody, I'd say. And it just keeps going like that. So kind of, you know, you don't have to think about it this way, but imagine if you take a step down from, you start with the A, go 1 step down of the notes that you have, then use the highest note, then go to the bottom. And then kind of finish it up with some stairs going back to your original note. Okay, so that's pretty simple. Obviously, this might not be necessarily completely enough to fill a whole track. So the bass line does something else later on in the track. So it adds another note to the chord that you've been already using, but now it just kind of changes the pattern from starting with a high note, going very low, and then just stepping the stairs up. So you basically have this. Simple as that. So that's the second part. And then remember, if you have these kinds of simple bass lines, you might want to have enough space in your track where you do something without the bass sound. So this whole part over here, you have a part without the kick also. The drums coming in, and then the drum fill bass line comes back. Okay, so much for the first tip. Let's jump right into the second. I have some stuff up here. The second tip I would say is you don't need these crazy sound design skills or synthesis skills to create some bass stuff. You might have a bunch of different bass sound stabs in your library, and you might be able to combine them to create a bass line that already has different sounds. Because sometimes to make your bass lines more complex, it's cool to have them change and shift over time, which synthesis-wise isn't always that easy. But combining different bass sounds together can create something cool. So let's listen to this stuff over here. And let's start with the drums. And then I just added some bass sounds. For example, this one. I added a filter on top to just already make it sound a bit more complex. This is no automation. You can do it with automation, but this is just the envelope and gate which Filter Free creates. And then I picked just another bass sound to have something else. So you could play with these 2 sounds and try and create something. And with drums and stuff, obviously simple stuff, but that's something you could start, to just start out and do something. Add a bass step, add some filter movement over it, add another bass sound, maybe do the same, and you can already create something cool with that. All right, let's finish things off with the last bass tip, which kind of goes in line with this one. I just have this sound thing over here. Sometimes it's cool to use a lead sound which kind of sounds like a bass or something, and then let this sound inspire you to create a bass sound below it. So I really like this sound. I was like, oh, okay, maybe I can create a bass line that kind of goes in line with it, some call and response type of stuff, but also, yeah, kind of round it up. So I came up with this bass line. So also here we just have 4 different notes playing some stuff. This is actually looped, but because the loop sound or the loop that I liked before with the synth sound has some variety in it, it will sound kind of cool together. Let's give it a listen. Okay, let's start up here. All right, this is obviously still missing some more things, but I think as a tip to be like, okay, find a synth sound with some variation, and then find some notes that you like to add. You can also have something that's quite loopy, but still make it sound interesting. For the patch, this is just really some random FM synth synthesis, which I've done. If you have any questions for the specific sound, just let me know in the comments. I can hook you up with some presets or whatever. Yeah. Let's keep this video short. Glad to have you here, and see you for the next one. Peace.